You did something that caused him so much pain, so much suffering. What did you do?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 celebrity interview moments that aged badly. Number 10, David Letterman asks Madonna inappropriate questions. Late Show with David Letterman. While some people remember Madonna's censored outbursts during this show, they sometimes forget the context behind it. Letterman spends much of this interview egging on the pop star with personal questions. We know the host has a reputation for pushing the envelope, but we've come a long way since the 90s and can see the more problematic elements behind the chaos and banter in this exchange.
Dave just slobbered all over my cigar.
Now you asked me to light it for her, and I thought I was doing the gentlemanly thing.
It's the closest I'm ever gonna get to kissing you.
Number 9, anchors insult Cara Delevingne. Good Day Sacramento. Cara Delevingne was promoting her film Paper Towns in this interview, but it was quickly muddied by some shallow questions from a morning show crew. The interviewers asked whether Delevingne even read the book and asked if she had enough time to even consider doing so. Another anchor comes out with a misplaced critique of the actress's behavior.
And you seemed a lot more excited about it than you do right now. Are you just exhausted?
And the performer is understandably taken aback. Number 8, Lindsay Lohan endures David Letterman. Late Show with David Letterman. Lindsay Lohan's personal life is the subject of this appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman. Her run-ins with the law quickly become the main topic of this interview. But it's when he brings up her impending trip to rehab that the host steps over a boundary.
Aren't you supposed to be in rehab now?
Lohan isn't sure what to say in response to the host's awkward line of questioning. Poking fun and prodding when it comes to someone's struggles with addiction certainly wasn't okay then, and it isn't okay now. Number 7, Diane Sawyer makes Britney Spears cry. Prime time. Diane Sawyer's primetime interview with Britney Spears is now largely panned for its negativity.
You did something that caused him so much pain, so much suffering. What did you do?
Looking back at the tape, the interviewer's techniques feel harsh and aggressive. Spears herself later admitted that she felt the interview was unfair. Needless to say, most people agree that Sawyer's actions contributed to a growing harmful media circus surrounding her. Number 6, David Letterman bites Jennifer Aniston's hair. Late Show with David Letterman. Jennifer Aniston appears on The Late Show with David Letterman with a hairstyle that seemingly caught the host's attention, and he inexplicably thought it'd be okay for him to slide over in his chair with little warning and bite down on a strand of it. She tries to play it off as a joke despite her obvious discomfort. It's hard to imagine that this kind of behaviour would happen at all today without both parties signing off on it. Number 5, Ben Affleck gets too personal. Box office. This Ben Affleck interview captures a particularly controversial moment in his history with the press. With interviewer Anne-Marie Lozic on his lap, Affleck gets up close and personal in a series of cringe exchanges.
They are like two giant stones.
The video resurfaced in the wake of the #MeToo movement as the actor's actions were further examined. His handsy behaviour and questions about the TV personality's relationship status came into focus, and people didn't like what they saw. Number 4, Sean Connery's thoughts on women. The Barbara Walters Summer Special. The late Sean Connery was widely known as a macho man, and he remains set on that persona. But his antiquated views on gender were bad back in the day, and they've just aged extremely poorly since.
Not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist, it's better to do it with an open hand.
And
I would love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
Number 3, Brian Williams' fake story. Late Show with David Letterman. Brian Williams was known as the trusted anchor for the NBC nightly news for many years. During this Letterman interview, he discussed an experience riding in a helicopter while covering the Iraq War. It was later discovered that his claims were embellished. He weaves a rather elaborate tale for Letterman, which would be fine, except he wasn't actually in the aircraft that was hit by an RPG. This fabrication led to his suspension from NBC and ultimately his departure from his coveted position at the network. Number 2, Harvey Weinstein calls himself an underdog. CNN. After the bombshell revelations about him, almost every Harvey Weinstein interview plays out like a failed lie detector test. This one in particular showcases the depth of his hypocrisy, given the extent of his crimes and allegations. The producer goes on to describe himself as an underdog, wanting to create projects that celebrate people like him that struggle. Knowing anything about Weinstein's awful behavior, it's plain to understand that he's the furthest thing from a movie hero.
To me, I'm still the underdog.
Number 1, Kanye West's problematic comments. TMZ Live. After talking about his views on Trump, the rapper makes a particularly tone-deaf comment about Black Americans and the country's past treatment of them.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice.
The artist reaches a particular low point with this ignorant statement, receiving considerable pushback from a TMZ staff member.
There is fact and real world, real life consequence behind everything that you just said.